Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Sora, S.E.R. Davis, Sora Al Neely, Scholarship Committee, and the Bakersfield Luncheon Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta, for inviting me to speak at your Scholarship Love Luncheon today. As a member of the San Joaquin Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, Incorporated, and a member of one of the largest, predominantly African American sororities for the past 40 plus years. One that is dedicated to public service, targeting African Americans in this community. It brings me special joy to see my organization and this Bakersfield chapter continuing great work and providing scholarships to deserving students. I joined a marching band when I was in college. A member of the band approached me and asked me if I was interested in pledging Delta. We used to call it pledging back in those days. I said, I know Delta. That's the organization that sponsored a group of young women called the Del Teens for high school juniors and seniors back in Ohio, where I grew up. I was part of that, having fond memories of my association with the Del Teens, and later a debutante, also sponsored by Delta Sigma Theta. I said, I'm down. No, I didn't. I said, okay. She said she wanted to be sure to approach me before other sororities had a chance. I remember saying to her at the time, there are other sororities? I had never honestly heard of other sororities. I was later to learn that there were other organizations called AKA, and some other things that I don't really remember now. Anyway, I would just like to acknowledge my wonderful husband of 30 years, presiding elder, Dr. Allen L. Williams Sr. of the African Methodist Church. He's an alpha man and a Brownite, so president. Yes. My son Alan, who's in extension, and my daughter who's also a Delta, Meryl, and in extension today. I would like to speak to you today on the theme, joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, service in our heart. Joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, service in our heart. You know, I hate people who speak and they're not organized. You don't know where they're going, and you don't know when it's going to be over. So I'm going to make 3 points. How many points am I going to make? 3. Point number 1. Joy in our sisterhood. As I went about the business of preparing for today, I asked one of my sorors about the scholarship recipients. And I wanted to know if they were all young women. Discovering that some of them were not, I decided to revise the initial theme to joy in our humanhood. Joy meaning the emotion evoked by well-being, success. Success, I'll come back to that. Or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, gaiety, a state of happiness, bliss, a source or cause of delight, joy. And then there's humanhood. A member of the species Homo sapiens, distinguished from other apes by a large brain and the capacity for speech. I'll come back to that. Subject or indicative of the weaknesses, imperfections, and fragility associated with humans, humanhood. Oprah Winfrey said once, it takes a long time to know yourself, and you're responsible for your own life. What are you willing to go through? What are you willing to do to be successful? What is success? I was a teacher and a principal for several years before I began the position I'm currently working. And I used to have these conversations with students all the time. They would say things like, I just hate taking tests. And during final season, I'll be so glad when this week is over. No more tests. I can't wait to graduate from high school so I can get a job. No more tests. When I'm done with college, there will never be any more. I want to let you know a little secret. You want to hear a little secret? It's all a test. It's all school. Whisper to your neighbor, it's all a test. It's all school. You're going to be continued to be tested in and out of school forever. Why do I say that? Because life is a test. A series of challenges, multiple choice, pop quizzes, and exams that you may or may not be able to be prepared for, and you will have to make a decision on the spot that may be the right decision or the wrong decision because you're not taking the time to think, analyze the situation, and weigh the consequences. You go to a party. See, say, everyone seems to be having fun. Should you stay? You have tests in the morning. You kind of know the material. You really should go over the material again. Your smart friend went home. In fact, they weren't even there. Your good friend who's failing all of his or her classes, they're staying. What should you do? Don't get distracted by the noise. We all make mistakes. We all choose the wrong answer from time to time. Sometimes, though, if you surround yourself with good company, wise people, and you develop good humanhood relationships with those who have observed, to have a history of making good choices, your choices may also be more likely to be the correct choice. Understand what I'm saying? Point number 2, power in our voice. Remember, you have a large brain, the capacity for speech. You have a voice. You have a voice. Remember the definition of humans, that which is distinguished us from apes, the capacity for speech part. Your voice is important, and it has power. Marlene Brown, 19 years old, contracted HIV/AIDS. She remained upbeat while battling her illness, traveled around the world to share her story, published her autobiography, Naked Truth, Young, Beautiful, and HIV Positive, has become the CEO and independent HIV consultant for Marvelous Connections, and ambassador for the Greater Than AIDS campaign. Do you see the power in her voice? Darius Williams, teenager with muscular dystrophy, never left his hometown of Athens, Georgia. With the help of friends and a counselor at Project Reach, which is a youth and adult-run, multi-racial, multi-gender, grassroots, anti-discrimination youth organizing center, he took a cross-country trip to Los Angeles, hoping that he might get his wheelchair revamped on the MTV show Pimp My Ride. The trip was documented in a documentary Theirs Goes West, which helped raise awareness of disability rights and the need for wheelchair accessibility across the nation. That's power. Charlene Carruthers grew up on the south side of Chicago, writer, organizer, activist, managed to use a combination of social media and in-person fundraising to gather more than $1,400 worth of donations to send herself to Haiti after the earthquake. She continues to return to do more community development. Kendra Key graduated the University of Alabama, ran for student body president, a position that had long been held by a white student. Though she narrowly lost the race, she brought attention to Black representation in student government at her school. She was awarded the Truman Scholarship. Now she works in D.C. with Representative Terry Sewell, Democratic from Alabama, using her voice. Kayla Vince. Kayla, although she's had superior grades in performance in high school, she had to convince school officials to allow her to take advanced classes where Black students were in a minority. Now she's a senior at Yale University, focusing her research on Black male students and hoping to pursue a career in reforming the education system. There's power in our voice. You too have a voice. Don't get distracted by the noise. Point number 3, service in your heart. Help someone along the way. Help someone along the way. When I give you a signal, I want you to say the word serve. Can everybody say the word serve? Serve. Okay, this is a signal. Oh. I used to be, I'm occasionally a choir director. So this is a signal. Serve. Here we go. To follow is to serve. To be available is to serve. To believe and to trust is to serve. To accompany is to serve. To forgive and to be compassionate is to serve. 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 We're done. That was the fun. An old Chinese proverb says, and you may have heard of this, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, and my husband will attest to this, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody. If you help someone, they're more likely to do something nice for someone else that very day. Your one act of kindness can have a major domino effect. Enroll in college. Collect your love scholarship. Complete your education. And when you get these jobs that you've been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that you are free. And if you are free, you need to free somebody else. And if you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. Toni Morrison. And just remember, we can never go nowhere unless we share with each other. Where a positive heart is all you need to rise beyond and succeed. Where young minds grow and respect each other based on their deeds and not their color. When times are dim, say as I say. Where there's a will, there's a way to function. the weaknesses, imperfections, and fragility associated with being human. But what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. We can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you don't, I hope you have the courage to start over again. F. Scott Fitzgerald. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to meet former First Lady Michelle Obama. I know, right? It was at a fundraiser in Beverly Hills at the home of the guy who invented Netflix. I know, right? I can tell you more about this later. There were two components to the evening. One, you had a chance to talk to her briefly and take a picture. And the second, where you got to sit and listen to her give a speech. It was a small, intimate setting. Secret Service, people, all kinds of rules and precautionary methods. They lined us up with a picture, and the photographer was all set to take a picture with each guest, Mrs. Obama, and the flag. I was immediately on. I will reenact that experience for you now. Me, photographer. Me, photographer. Me. Can I take a picture of Miss Obama with my cell phone? No. You will be able to purchase pictures online. How am I going to get the picture? Just a minute now. Is it going to be expensive? No. What's the website? Then it was my turn. I'm facing Miss Obama. I'm standing next to Miss Obama. I completely freaked out. And I said, seriously, I don't know what to say! And she said, you gotta say something. And I said, okay, well, let me say this. I really appreciate all of the work you're doing with child obesity. And she said, well, what kind of work do you do? I said, I'm a principal at an elementary school. And she said, well, tell your students to eat their vegetables and read. And I said, okay. And we took our picture. Everybody passed through, took their picture with Miss Obama, and there was a second component to the evening. She spoke in the backyard of this house on a portable stage for about 30 minutes. And in that speech she said, my husband is one of the smartest, most focused men I have ever met. And he doesn't get distracted by the noise. That was it. That was my real question. My real question to Miss Obama was that I really wanted to ask her, but I thought it was too personal and not appropriate. And anyway, my real question, how is your husband able to handle all the negative ridicule that continues to be said about him, written about him, lied about him? How does he do that? That was my real question. She answered my question. She answered my question. He doesn't get distracted by the noise. The noise. The noise. Young people. young scholarship recipients, as you go about preparing for your future, plan your work your plan. Please don't get distracted by the noise.